It was a great game from Zach Wilson. We're going to get right into it. That's what everyone wants to hear about. Vitor, go ahead and tell us about Zach Wilson's big day.
Zach Wilson was himself, and that's great. He was aggressive. He was making plays, and he was playing like he used to play at Saturdays at BYU. And that's the thing. We're talking so much about the fact that he's a rookie quarterback and that LaFleur is a rookie offensive coordinator. In the end, this might be good for the Jets because both of these guys, they're creating their own identity on the fly and together. LaFleur doesn't know who he is, the play caller. Zach Wilson doesn't know who he is, an NFL quarterback. And they are just learning who they are together in each game. And week 4 was like, hey, we are aggressive. We're looking for the killer shot. LaFleur on 3rd and 10, 2 minutes to go into the game, he called a pass play, a drop back pass play, because he trusts Zach Wilson to get the jugular shot. And that's what was so fantastic about this game. Zach Wilson was confident. He was rolling out of the pocket. When he saw that safety come down on Crowder, he just pointed to Corey Davis to make the big play. And that's confidence. And that's knowing your coaching staff wants you to be yourself. And I was so encouraged by that because Zach Wilson, he's not Mac Jones in a sense that he won't check the ball down the entire game, run the football, and win 2014 with a good defense. That's not Zach Wilson. And with rookie quarterbacks, you gotta let them develop under the premise that they can be who they truly are. And Zach Wilson was himself. He was just like Saturdays last year. He was balling. He was decisive. He made some mistakes, yes, but he made those mistakes by trying to win the game, by being aggressive. And I, just so happy with his performance, with LaFleur's game. Not perfect, but both of those guys, they're starting to get a sense of who they really are. And I like who they are. They're aggressive and they're here to stay.
See, yeah, he was aggressive and mostly it worked out. There were definitely some plays where it could have gone very wrong. And one play where it did go very wrong with that interception. Me and Andrew, I think you as well, if you don't believe that was a really poor read by him to make that throw to Davis, even if he didn't fall. At best, it's probably an incomplete pass. And then there's a few other plays where sometimes he's just trying to float it, be a little cute with the ball, and puts it into some dangerous situations. For the most part, it worked out though. So it's all good if it works out, but when it doesn't, it could be bad.
Yeah, that was that's going to be the thing with Zach Wilson, I think, for most of his career, is that when it works, it's great, and when it doesn't, it's going to be tough. But I think once he gets comfortable and once he keeps that confidence, I think it's going to keep working more than it doesn't. I think confidence was the biggest thing with him on against the Titans, where he was confident in himself and he was confident in his protection and he was confident in his receivers. And we saw him throw that way. We didn't see the timid Zach Wilson where he's missing the easy throws he usually makes. There's a couple towards the end of the game I would have loved to see him hit to ice it. But even Zach said it himself after the game. That was the one thing he was harping on, is that he could have put the game away and that he wants to come back and be better. He wasn't talking about the big throws. He was talking about the ones he missed. And I think that really shows that this kid has his head on straight. I think he's only going to get better. And I agree with everything that you guys said. I think LaFleur is figuring things out. It was a better game. I wouldn't say I'm overly happy because I think that the offense, we'll get to that more when we talk about this. We continue. I think the offense had some opportunities they left on the field early, but they rebounded and they didn't just keep trying to dig a square peg into a round hole, and they tried different things than when it started to work. And once they got a key of what the Titans were doing, they were calling plays to beat it. The play of Jamison Crowder, where Wilson fumbles the snap in particular, where Wilson said afterwards that he fumbled because he was so excited they knew it was going to be a big play, where they had double crossers off play action against single high man coverage. That's easy money. And he knew either Crowder or Corey Davis was going to be open depending on which way the safety went. And the safety went with Corey Davis, so he knew Crowder was going to be open, and he gave him a perfect ball. That's the type of stuff that we talked about for months leading up with Zach Wilson, is that his ability to see matchups and exploit them and be just as much a cerebral quarterback as a physical one. We saw both of that and both of those aspects on Sunday. I'm really, really encouraged. It was a great day overall, and I'm really happy to see. I'm really happy to see him again next week. I think it's going to be more of the same.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that play with Crowder and the one to Cole, I think he just showed great poise, understanding, and confidence in himself and his arm. Put the ball where it needed to be. Crowder made a great catch. But yeah, to be able to recover like he did and not skip a beat, know exactly where he wanted to go with the ball. It was all very fun to watch.
Yeah, and that throw in particular to Cole, I would thought of you actually immediately once it happened, Matt, because that was the rainbow. That was the touch throw lollipop that we talked about when the very beginning of this podcast, leading up to the draft, when we were talking about quarterbacks, where Wilson threw balls well, but he didn't necessarily always throw with touch when he needed to. That was a great example of a touch throw, an absolute beautiful throw, and it's great to see that we've seen him change in ways to make himself better and not lose who he is at the same time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You guys know one throw that I really liked? Deep out to Davis, because the Jets had a run call to the line. I think the Titans were in bear, right? Every O-line from the Jets was covered. They had like 2 more or 3 linebackers. So 8-man box, can't run. So Wilson just can, right? Can. You throw the run play in the trash can and go to your pass play. And it's just a beautiful out route to Corey Davis. And that play started to change the momentum of the game. I think it was in the first touchdown drive. That play started to change the momentum of the game, right? Good out route, Wilson canning the play. I didn't see it in the first 3 games. Didn't even know if LaFleur called 2 plays and gave Wilson the ability to can or kill one of the plays. But when I saw it, I was really encouraged, like, hey, he's more confident. They're letting him a bit more loose. This is a good play. And then the Jets went on, scored a touchdown. I was really, really encouraged.
Yeah, Wilson said it himself that after that first touchdown and after that drive in particular with that out route to Corey Davis, that the whole team kind of had a little bit of a sigh of relief. And they were like, okay, we calmed down. We can do this. It's 9-7. We didn't go the entire first half without scoring. We're in this game. And I think that really confidence, like I said, was the biggest thing of the whole game, is that the team played incredibly confident. They never wavered, and they fought until the very end. They thought they were the better team, and they acted like it. And that's what we've been waiting to see from this team for the entire season. It was really, really encouraging to see. I'm really happy with them. And moving on top of that, after Zach Wilson, the O-line and receivers, I think, were another part in particular that did an excellent job. We've had for weeks where we've had receivers dropping passes. We've had protection being suspect. I think both aspects were great. And this was an example of Zach Wilson trusting in his playmakers around him and his protection as well as himself. Everything came together really well. And I hope that it can give the offense some rhythm going forward. This is something that really they should be building off of.
Yeah, I mean, and they need to build off of it, because if they don't, they're just going to fall back to what we saw with Denver, to what we saw against the Panthers. And we do not want to see that going forward. There was a great game by the offensive line in totality, between Vera Tucker probably having his best game so far. Even in the run game, you could see him moving up in the second level, taking on 2 or 3 separate defenders in one play. It was very fun. I think going forward, we're going to need to maybe work on getting that running game started early in the games, because it doesn't seem like LaFleur wants to move away from that at all. So they're going to need to find a way to get it going, so it's not such a burden on us early in the game, so we're not playing catch up in the second half.
Yeah, the O-line played a lot better standing up, but they still missed Mekhi Becton in the running game, right? It's very clear to me. George Fant's a good pass protector, but he's not as good as a run blocker, not close to Mekhi Becton as a run blocker. But one thing that I also like about LaFleur was that he used Wesco more. 18 snaps finally. Wesco is a good football player, and he can be your insert in every single zone kind of run that the Jets like. And he was just killing people on run blocks, and that's gave the Jets some spark. And another sequence of plays that I'd like to highlight the Jets ran in the last drive. First down, sweep to Braxton Berrios, right? 9 yards. Second down, they ran the same jet motion to Berrios, and they run outside zone to the left of Michael Carter. I think like 3 or 4 Titans defenders follow Berrios, and the Jets get a 15-yard gain. That's also, I know that the Titans ended up tying it, but that's good. And that's LaFleur understanding that the running game needs to dialogue. He needs to get those jet motions more involved. I hope he will with Elijah Moore being back. But AVT is very encouraging. I think Morgan Moses is good. George Fant and Moses are playing well as pass protectors, especially. They're good pass protecting tackles right now. And the line is just going to improve as the season goes on. And when Becton comes back, hopefully we get to see this peak Jets offensive line that will just be dominant on the ground and good when standing up.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see it. I was certainly a lot better, and I think that was the offensive line more than anything in pass protection was the biggest proponent of the win yesterday and the offense being able to play the way they did, because the Titans were loading the box. They were trying to keep everything up front. They weren't afraid to send some extra pressure. They were trying to get to Zach Wilson. They knew that their defense was maybe a little down with injuries and that they were going to have to generate some pressure if they were going to try and throw this rookie quarterback off. And the offensive line didn't let it happen. And it gave Zach the confidence to stand there and scan the field and roll out of the pocket and find, be able to see Keelan Cole down the field for a 50-yard bomb and direct Corey Davis long enough to get down the field off broken plays. Those weren't design plays, and not to get too far into schematics here, but those, as great as those plays were, and as amazing as plays as they are for Zach Wilson more than anything, they don't happen if the offensive line doesn't give him enough time to roll out. And I think that is a really key factor. Once the offensive line settled in, the entire offense seemed to play better. And the receivers, after one harsh drop from Corey Davis, completely responded. I thought Keelan Cole looked fantastic. There was some opportunities, even on that interception we mentioned earlier, where Davis slipped, but Christian Fulton was squatting on the route the whole way. Keelan Cole was wide open on the other post. It was the same double post route that they ran against the Packers in preseason, and Keelan Cole is wide open for a big gain, and Zach Wilson just didn't see it. But on top of that, they made their plays when they needed to. The out route to Keelan Cole, we already talked about, great toe drag to get both feet in bounds and make the catch. I really, really was happy with the receivers. Crowder played a great game coming back. Just as a whole, this is how you support your quarterback. This was a team win and a team effort, and I'm really happy from the offense as an entire unit.